very sexy things like a
Welcome back to Comedy Trap House News. It is your boy Marvin Telp, and we start this week with election results. So, in the good old state of Ohio, there were two very big issues on the voters' docket, and one of them was establishing constitutional abortion rights or making them protected in state law since Roe versus Wade was overturned. And thank goodness Ohio Ohioan voters turned up at the polls. And so usually in an off-year election like this, you do not get a big turnout. But this year they were able to get 3 million voters out, and you have, what is this? Damn near 4 million. You have the vote going 2.1 million to 1.6 million, which is about 57% to 43%. Then on the next big issue on the table was legalizing marijuana, which has been a big issue nationwide, right? You have state after state legalizing marijuana. And at this point, again, you're looking at another 57% to 43% voted in favor of legalizing marijuana. So Ohio, which is known as a swing state, but Republican-leaning, right-leaning state, was able to turn up and actually pass some really big legislative actions. And then, of course, those people who were unhappy decided to show their face again. So you have on the Daily Wire, Michael Knowles, not related to our Miss Knowles. Michael Knowles came and he said this quote. This is the exact one of the quotes from his mini rant that he had on this show.
You put
no, not that. The next. Yes. And he says, we had to get Roe versus Wade overruled because it created a ridiculous, unconstitutional license to abortion. But now we need to ban it. It's just got to be banned. And that goes back to exactly what this entire conversation was about. It was never about states' rights. We've heard that argument before. Oh no, it wasn't about this. It was about states' rights. Anytime the right wants to pass a massive piece of legislation, they go back to this whole state right BS. But basically, he came straight out and said it. It needs to be banned because it is the non-Christian thing to do. But then you go, all right, well, he's just, he's a correspondent. Help. We don't need him. What difference does he make? Well, let's just go to a former Republican, Rick Santorum. So Rick Santorum went on and he said this after the election.
You put very sexy things like abortion and marijuana on the ballot, and a lot of young people come out and vote. It was a secret sauce for disaster in Ohio. I don't know what they were thinking, but that's why I thank goodness that most of the states in this country don't allow you to put everything on the ballot, because pure democracies are not the way to run a country.
So then to the senator's point,
secret sauce for disaster. Putting issues that the people should vote on is a secret sauce for disaster, because, sexy things like abortion get people to turn out for elections. Listen, I think I'm funny, but I didn't make it up. You heard it yourself. Now, I think the problem is he said something very, very pertinent and something that people have to pay attention to. He said open democracies are no way to run a country. But we're talking about a country, the United States of America, which is founded on democracy, which is founded a country that we say is by the people for the people. And you have someone that was elected and in power say, no, that's not really what we want. And it just goes back to showing you that sometimes those in power will do anything to stay in power, because how un-American is it to not want a pure democracy? Because we've never seen that before. I told y'all, any chance I get to bring up the treasonous activity of the Dwights in them, I'm gonna let you know. Next, speaking, since we're in the realm of politics, Tim Scott, has dropped from the Republican nominee race. And Tim Scott is also known as the only black friend in my friend group. You know him. He's the businessman that got appointed to senator because he, you know, has some very controversial ideals. But if you don't remember him, it makes sense because he was kind of unremarkable, just like the rest of the entire Republican candidate field. Completely unremarkable. And I know you're going to say, well, you just feel this way about anyone that leads. Right. No, that's not true. Listen, my belief in elections is this. I don't have to agree with everything you say. I really don't. And I'm fine with that. We vote. Sides go, yeah, yeah, nay, nay. But I do believe you have to be a decent human and you have to have the interests of your people, the country, and the humanity and humanitarian efforts on your backing. Just because you're the leader of the free world and democracy. Now, Tim Scott came to national prominence because he ran on the same campaign that Herschel Walker ran on. And if you remember, Herschel Walker's campaign was, hey, see, there is a black guy that agrees with me. And that right there solves all my racist beliefs because, look, this Negro says the same thing I'm thinking. Now, it's crazy because you will go, well, Herschel Walker was slow. Herschel Walker may need to be tested for CTE. Herschel Walker took Ralph Warnick to the brink. They had to have a runoff. And the wildest part is Herschel Walker not one time put together a clear, coherent sentence his entire election. And like I said earlier, we have never seen that before. Oh, that boy's cooking today. Listen, I'm in my bag. All right, now, let's deal with some other non-political things. On November 8th, in Boston and in Virginia, 3 men were arrested and charged for basically having a commercial sex ring. Like, sex trafficking is supposed to be like underground. Like, you're not supposed to know unless you know and stumble. They had a commercial ring, right? The ring was so crazy that you had to sign up online via word of mouth. Hey, you got to holler at these people. All right, cool. Hey, you signed up and they're like, listen, we need to know how much money you really got. Are you somebody who can afford to run in our sex ring? And in having that sex ring, you had to have a certain amount of income. You had to know people. And they said, we have elected officials, influential people, military officers, and federal prosecutors. The people who throw the book at people need the book to be thrown at them. They have all of these people. They even have email threads and text messaging. They have the text messages. Look at this shit. Hey, is Mimi available? 9 o'clock. Well, donations for, I don't know, what the peach. I guess Carol's got a butt. And Alina's, they got booties. And I guess Tina and Mimi don't. I'm just basing this off of what they did. I'm guessing, right? Why they got 2 peaches, but not the 2 peaches for the other. It's got to be booty. Anyway, it's not the point. The point is, there is no discount for big booty. Wait, is that big BB? Big booty? All right. Listen. Also, if you go into the GFE and upgrade the BB, please. I don't know what any of this means. Okay. All it sounds like is we have the person that you're talking to. We know their number. You're trying to organize sex trafficking. Why isn't this person arrested? Because only the 3 people who were responsible for the ring have been arrested so far, and they're all Asian men, right? And they pose this site. The site was posed as like nude Asian women, you know, just come get your rocks off. But it was actually sex trafficking. We're talking about, we have emails, photos. These people have been identified. No names have been dropped yet on who is on this list. No one has been arrested or charged. How, Sway? Oh, I know how. The how is because these are people in power. And let me explain something. The DA is a federal prosecutor. So it's only so far he's going to be able to move or even want to move to get this done. But these folks are going to be protected down to the bitter end. I doubt you hear anybody's name come forward except for a couple of assistants who, you know, had to do the booking later. But the people in charge, the people in power, the people who've been yelling, we've got to stop sex trafficking, is out here trafficking sex. Gotta love how that goes. And speaking of court orders, prosecutions, and all this other stuff, Keke Palmer and her baby daddy boyfriend, ex-boyfriend, are back on our timelines and in the news again. Apparently recently, Keke Palmer has filed for and received temporary sole custody of her son and a temporary restraining order from Darius Jackson. Now, this was filed because of abuse claims. And this story I'm going to run with all the words of allegedly and assumed and all the other court words, because we don't know the whole true story. Okay, so allegedly, she said Darius Jackson abused her. And I don't know if you know how hard it is to receive a restraining order. You have to have some sort of evidence, and she did. And so this blew up, and it became a big thing. And so Darius Jackson's brother, Sarunas, who you know from Insecure, was like, I got a tweet for y'all. So he dropped this tweet, and the tweet says, the most disgusting, vile, abusive, manipulative person I have ever encountered in my entire life. Abuses almost everyone. Y'all will see. Just send positive energy to the babies. Any child in the middle of this, of something like this, doesn't deserve it at all. Wow, so damn sad. And it was retweeted by Darius. So clearly he felt like his brother was dropping bars. And then of course Keke's mom then comes up, and you're not going to pick on somebody's child in public and not think the mom's going to come through. So Keke's mom stepped up and she released a video. She said, listen, I don't do this. I've been in this industry for 20 plus years. I don't do this. But what I will say is, Sarunas, stop playing dumb. Because I reached out to you myself. I said, hey, get your brother's wildin'. And you've done nothing of the sort. And so, allegedly, Sarunas has known of his brother's activity because shortly after that video, he removed the tweet. Darius has also removed the tweet at this time. You know, people be putting things up. Stay off social media, folks. Like, stop reacting out loud to things like this. Like, this is a very private court of matter because we don't know, right? But what I will say is the video that they released, it don't look good for you, Darius. It don't look good, my boy. Again, I don't know what's right or wrong, but I do know you do not put your hands on anyone that you're in a relationship with. I think it's a no. I think it's to keep your hands to yourself. And so you have people clamoring from both sides, right? We don't know the whole story. You don't know who Keke is, and that's fine, right? And then there's the other side of this. No man should ever put his hands on a woman, and I agree. What I will say, though, is if you are in a relationship where domestic violence has happened or is happening or is a reoccurring thing, nothing you've done deserves that response. Nothing, okay? Please do not be afraid to seek help because you feel like you're trapped and alone, okay? There are many of resources. houses, organizations, and so many other things that are there to help you if you need help. But you can only get help if you take the step forward yourself. Nothing you've done deserves domestic violence. Please, if you have to, seek help. That is all the coverage we have for on Comedy Trap House News today. We're going to hop in the chat for a little bit, have a little bit of fun. You know, like the video if you're watching. Please like. If you haven't subscribed yet, but you're here every week, subscribe. Stop being weird. Like, subscribe, comment. And also, it's easier for me to see you in the chat if you throw a little super chat up there, because it's signed with a real big highlight bar and I can see it. I also haven't had my coffee yet, so a super chat with some coffee too? What? Anyway, where we at?
I got a quick question. We missed last week.
Yes.
The actor strike is over.
Yes, so we'll do that first. The writer's strike and SAG strike are now officially over, and you would think I would say Hollywood is open. False. It is November. Hollywood will probably be closed to January. I don't know what all the numbers are yet. I know AI was a big sticking point. I wonder what the percentage of the raise will be. So there are a lot of questions that a lot of the actors are kind of waiting for, especially after getting their best, last, and final deal 3 days before we said no. So, I don't know, but Hollywood will be back open, which means I'll be auditioning. I'll be back on your TV sets real soon, ladies and gentlemen. You're going to be watching the show and be like, there go he. Yes, that's happening. So the strike is over. I'm glad it's over. It's time to get back to work. We got things to write, things to sell, things to act. What are we doing? What up, legends? What is up, Big Timmy Tom? Pizza Popo. What up, dude? What's up with y'all? Pure democracy is not the way to run a country. Isn't that an interesting quote? For a country, by the people, for the people? The world is fucked. Yeah, that, Herschel having CT is funny, low-key. It's mind-boggling. Marvin's cooking. Thank you. I felt I was in cook mode earlier today. Yeah, the names won't come out. We know that. Listen, dude, I think in any situation, it's very easy to pick sides when it's hearsay, which is why a lot of times having outlets like social media become dangerous, because you can throw your full support behind someone and then that come back to bite you. Because, like, here's the thing: if Instagram was a thing and Twitter was a thing when OJ was OJ, you know how many black people had to delete their entire accounts right now? Like, OJ didn't do it. The juice was set up. The juice is loose. Free him. Then at the end of the trial, we were like, and then we got to sit on it for a couple years, and now everyone's like, yeah, OJ did it. OJ did it. Damn. So having social media and having the speed to do this doesn't always mean it's right. Sometimes we just have to, us as individuals have to stop, take a step back, and just wait for news and information to come out. But I do know, again, like I said, I just don't think in any relationship, and I was going to say a man should never put his hands on a woman, which I believe, but then I don't think a woman should put her hands on a woman. I don't think a woman should put her hands on a man. I think all of those situations are no's. Learn how to deal with your feelings, right? Go get you some therapy. Talk to someone. Go to coping classes. Go to anger management classes. If you cannot control an outburst, figure it out. But it's not put your hands on the person across from you that's causing the outburst. Anything else? Listen, I had pants on kinda last week, 2 weeks ago when I did that. Y'all just saw the tights because they was, you know, it's still warm out here. So I got the thigh meat out for the ladies. That's all. I got thigh meat, long legs. I know some of you liked it. Y'all DM me about my legs. It's fine. I'll take it. Anyway, moving on. Yeah, I'm going to say you got to get out of there though. If your job is whipping your ass, you got to go. We will talk about Christian McCaffrey's streak, the Ravens' dumbass loss, and everything like that on Thursday when we're back for I Bet, sponsored by mybookie.com. But I think, what do you think about the SCOTUS exercise? No, dude, we can't talk about that. That's a whole nother thing. The SCOTUS ethics code is a joke, clearly. And we can talk about the trips and vacations and all the other things that have come through the, oh, your kid is doing what? Well, I guess we should grant the school that. We can talk about all of that. But politics in America has taken a terrible turn south. And I just don't know how to fix it. My real belief is everyone in positions need to be fired. And we need to do a reset election where we vote on everyone from top to bottom. And that's how I will get in the office also, because I'm smarter than half the motherfuckers in there right now. Oops. Watch your mouth, Marvin. That's it. And that's fine, guys. Guy's not really talkative today, which is cool. You still mad about me for being gone last week? I understand, but you'll get over it. Anyway, that is our time for Comedy Trap House News. Again, like, subscribe, comment, share with your friends, post online. Let's grow the show, ladies and gentlemen, because I still got a lot of shit to say. Anyway, see you next week. Peace.
You put very sexy things like abortion.
All right, I was gone, but now I'm back because I want to get Ramona's thing, because I think I was going to save this for another thing. So the captain, the guy, the hat tosser in the Montgomery brawl is being charged for like third-degree assault, right? And you look at the video, because I watch the Montgomery brawl as a movie every Sunday, just to remind me what it looks like when we're unified. But you knew we weren't going to get out of this scot-free. You knew the charges were coming. I know they came after Chairbro, but to go after the guy that you legitimately see throw the hat in the air and then get mobbed by 5 white people is absolutely horrendous. So I'm only doing this because I need people to know that that's what's happening right this moment. Write letters, bombard their offices. You can legitimately bombard the prosecutor's office with letters and emails about how egregious that charge is. But you do have to remember, ladies and gentlemen, because sometimes we forget, we are still black in America. And that's all I got to say about that. Ramona, that's for you. Everyone else, deuces.